Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is Word Origins 154. The word origin today is El Cheapo. Okay, let's take a look at the note here. El Cheapo, as a noun, refers to a person who is a cheapskate. A person's very cheap. They don't like to spend money, especially in a cheap way. You know, not just like in a saving money way, but in a cheap way, a way where they should be spending more money. So a person who's very reluctant to spend money. As an adjective, it could be used to refer to things that are inexpensive and of cheap quality. It is usually used in humor. Yeah, it's usually used as a joke. It's usually used to be funny. Okay, let's continue. El Cheapo looks like a Spanish word, but is actually an informal American English term. It can be referred to as mock Spanish. Mock Spanish means fake Spanish. You know, we created it in English to look like it's Spanish, but it's actually not a Spanish word. If they use it in Spanish at all, they probably got it from English, not originally from Spanish. But that they don't usually. It's not a regular Spanish word. Let's continue. Due to large influence of Spanish on American English, it came about in the 1970s, so that's around the time it started. El is a real Spanish word that means the, as an article in Spanish for masculine nouns. Yeah, most of the Romance languages, like Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, or French, they usually have male and female nouns, okay, and they may have different articles for them. So like in Spanish, the most common one for male is el, and the most common one for female is la. Okay, so that's where the el comes from. And, you know, most Americans, because we have such an influence of Spanish, most Americans probably know, I don't know, I'd say around 50 to 100 Spanish words. So they're used to the el something, meaning the something. So this is the idea. This is how they formed this word. Cheapo was invented from the word cheap in English. They simply added an O to the end of the word cheap because most masculine nouns in Spanish end in the letter O. Okay. The most common word in Spanish for cheap is barato. Yeah, it's actually that double R, that rolling R sound, meaning something is of cheap quality, you know. And a person like a cheapskate is called tacaño, all right, with that little tilde N there. That's that nasal N, like when we say the word onion in English. So a tacaño would be more like a person that's a cheapskate that doesn't want to spend money. Okay, good. And we got 4 examples to show how we would use this term El Cheapo in English. All right, here's the first one. Don't expect El Cheapo to get you anything expensive. He is such a tightwad. That's another word we use for somebody who's like a cheapskate. They're very unwilling to spend the money. All right, number 2 here. El Cheapo only left a few coins as a tip. You know, maybe they went with somebody. They're supposed to leave a tip. A few coins probably means even less than $1. You know, nowadays that would probably not be a good tip for any amount of what you spend. So that's what they're saying. He only left a few coins. So they're kind of making fun of him. El Cheapo, you know, did this. He only left this small tip. Okay, number 3 here. Make sure you get the good quality ones. Don't get the El Cheapo ones, you know, the real cheap quality ones. All right, and number 4 here, we might say, no wonder it broke right away. You got the El Cheapo ones, something like that. Okay, anyway, I hope you got it. I hope you found it informative. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.